I'm literally Cinderella right now, running to my albergue before the doors close and they lock me out for the night, before my carriage turns into a pumpkin. Such a bummer, because I was having such a good time. Whatever. Look at that. Guys, look, I made it to Santiago. Wow, I just finished my first ever Camino. I did the Portuguese coastal way. So that's over 260 kilometers from Porto, Portugal, up here to Santiago de Compostella, Spain. And I started my YouTube channel the same day I started the Camino, and I tried to document every single day. Okay, I'm walking to get my Compostela. I didn't think I was going to do this because I arrived in Santiago and God just moved mountains for me. Like, I didn't think I was gonna show up with friends, and then there were friends there. And it was beautiful. And then I stayed in Santiago and I met the most amazing people and just had such a fulfilling time, like deep soul fulfilling time. And there was one experience in particular where I just knew God brought me here for that reason, and that was enough. And so I didn't plan on getting my Compostela because my journey felt complete, but I'm gonna try right now. I don't know if I have everything I need, but I'm gonna try. Okay, so I got my Compostela. First of all, I had to give them this of all my stamps that I got along the way, from my albergues to the cafes I went to the cathedrals I went to. And then they were able to give me the official Compostela with my name on it and the date. And it was really interesting. She said usually they put your name in Latin, but I guess they decided your name was Latin enough because it's exactly my name, Alyssa Nicole Roman. She said she expected there to be like an M on the end or something, but nope, I guess mine is just fine as it is. And then I also opted to get this one, which is I think €2 extra, but it just shows the official route that you did. So it has my name, and it has also the kilometers, 260 kilometers on which date and from Porto, and that I did the Camino Portuguese of the coast. That's that one. And then you can optionally buy a little case for it, which I did. And then I got this too, because I wanted a little piece of jewelry to commemorate this experience. So I've been looking, and I actually found exactly what I wanted in the official Pilgrim's office. So it's the little scallop shell with the cross of St. James, and actually St. James, oh no, St. James is on the back of it. Yes. And then the last thing I got is a postcard, because I just started my Patreon, and it's always linked in the description of my videos. But for the higher tier, if you really want to like join the journey, I'm going to be sending you a postcard. So I looked all over Santiago for one that was really special, and I found this one, this beautiful piece of art. Like, I'm a sucker for nice stationery because I used to work in a stationery store, and this is a really beautiful depiction of the cathedral. This is actually the horse fountain, which I stumbled upon this scene at night, and there was a full moon, or not full, but waxing moon right there, and there was a guy playing guitar like somewhere over here, and so this is a really special scene to me. So I will send you this postcard if you subscribe to the first subscriber of that tier. And then for everyone that subscribes, I'll be sending you postcards from my travels. So that's a really fun way to get involved and show support. So thank you guys. I'm gonna go ahead and add it to my necklace. Silver on silver. They look so good together. Oh my gosh, I love the weight of it. Yeah, no matter how it hangs, it just looks and feels perfect. That's so exciting. Okay, cool. Oh, I forgot to mention, so I wasn't planning on getting my Compostella, so that means I showed up at 6 p.m. and the Pilgrim's office closes at 7. So I was really like, oh my gosh, I hope I have all the stamps that I need, and I got it. You know, I actually arrived 3 days ago, so I didn't know if that was going to be an issue. I didn't know if I needed my physical passport, which I actually don't have on me right now. But it all worked out, and I know it was all a part of God's plan, because I've heard that you will wait in that line for hours, and I waited 5 minutes because I arrived at 6 p.m. like just going to get it on a whim, thinking I wouldn't, but I did, and it took no time at all. So come at 6 p.m. That is my recommendation to you, and thanks God for the guidance. This is the way I entered when I had my backpack on, and I actually had just finished. Now I'm just revisiting. And I laid down right there with my pack as a pillow. And then over there is where I filmed a video, because no one really goes right there. So you can actually get a great picture of you with the cathedral in the back. Hi! Again, this all happens with no plan. I'm just taking a video of the horse fountain, and then I see a line, and it's for the Pilgrim's Mass at 7:30, and I'm perfectly 30 minutes early, so I might actually get a seat and get to see this amazing tradition. And I'm gonna try to show you. I think it's where they have the incense and the botufumero, and they swing it. So hopefully I get to experience this. I didn't even plan on it, but I was just here. So now I'm in line. It wasn't a time when they lit this, but it's still cool to see.
Le plafond là. Non mais en haut, t'as vu le plafond comment ça fait là
So there's one more thing I want to see before I leave Santiago tomorrow morning. Taking the bus and then the train out of here. But apparently after the sun sets, if you go by the clock tower, I forget what the plaza is called, but I don't think this is the right plaza. I'm not sure. I'm gonna have to look it up. But it's the shadow of the Pilgrim. I'll just have to show you, but yeah, I'm really excited to see it. It's like just the architecture. When the sun sets and the lights come on, it casts a shadow that looks like a medieval pilgrim, and it actually is uncanny. So look, speaking of pilgrim shadows, that's so cool. But yeah, I'm gonna go see the one. Golden Hour Cathedral is wow. Yes, this one. Basically the back side of the cathedral. Just walk behind. So, obviously the sun has not set yet, but I'm trying to imagine where it would be. I'm gonna look around and then I'll show you. There it is. That's the shadow of the Pilgrim. You can see it's a real shadow, but when you stand in just the right spot, you get a pilgrim. dinner tonight, tuna and olives, which I am actually so excited about. I feel like this was my go-to in Portugal, but in Spain, something else has been occurring, and yeah, I'm ready to get back to the good stuff. I don't know if you can call it that, but compared to some of my choices recently, this is the good stuff. Guys, if you watched to the end of this video and also the end of this series of my Camino Portuguese experience, first of all, this is a bonus video because I did not intend to film like just a Santiago de Compostella video, but it ended up working out that way and I'm so happy it did. But what's next? I'm excited to tell you. So a couple videos back, I explained that I'm feeling called back to this little town in Portugal called Cathedral, and I learned from a Portuguese man it's pronounced Cathedral. I was saying Careco, but the little symbol, the squiggle below the C, makes it, I think, an S sound. So tomorrow I'm catching the bus and then the train down to Cathedral. And what's so exciting is that's where I will stay for as long as feels right until I get guidance to go elsewhere. So it could be actually until my flight to Georgia, November 7th. So that's a good long while. Sorry, I'm in the pitch black. Hold on. Okay, I'm back in my little room at the Seminario Menor, and I highly recommend this place. If you're just looking for basic pilgrim accommodations, it's like they said, what do pilgrims need? And they just made the perfect, affordable place. So I really like it. And as I was saying, I'm going back to Careço tomorrow, and I feel like God brought me there for a reason the first time around, and he showed me something that I just remembered the other day. So I was gonna go back no matter what and just stay in the albergue, like in a hostel bed, or in a bed in the albergue. And that's $20 a night, which is out of my budget. Like, I make less than $600 a month working for the nonprofit. I have to fundraise the rest, and I'm not quite there yet, so it's out of my budget. But sometimes God gives us dreams and he doesn't care for our budget. He doesn't check our paycheck, he checks our faith. So I already booked transportation back there. But then I remembered something he showed me while I was there, and it was this. So I met two women that were tent camping, and they seemed happy and comfortable. I mean, the property is so nice, the grounds are so nice, there are horses, and it's just really peaceful and beautiful there. So if you tent camp, it's by donation that you get to stay. So even though I was going back either way, I'm so grateful I remembered that I can tent camp and pay by donation. So I bought a tent in Santiago just a couple days ago. It's right there on the shelf. And yeah, I'm gonna be donating like probably around $3 a night. I was praying over what to give, and $3 is what was coming to mind. And then that'll be around $100 a month. If I stay for a month, that would be like my rent. And that's great because then I can afford food. and a little bit of savings for the next part of my journey. Yeah, so I'm really, really excited for that. It feels very different. I'm not even there yet, but just the concept of sleeping in a tent. I've never done that before. Like, of course, I've camped, but this is different. This is living in a tent. And I know it's gonna make me happy, so why do I care? My storage was full, but I was saying, why should I care what society thinks if, one, I know God is calling me back there, and two, I will be perfectly happy living that way in a tent. Yeah, I feel like it's gonna be beautiful, but I also know that I would be happy anywhere. With the Lord, I truly am so fulfilled. And I was explaining that to someone just the other day, and that's actually what I was talking about earlier when I said my journey felt complete, because God moved mountains and something amazing happened when I arrived in Santiago. That's why I wasn't going to get my Compostella, because his work was done and it's just a piece of paper. But I'm glad I got it. But yeah, the thing that happened was I just was sitting next to someone in a coffee shop and we were making small talk about the Camino, but then he asked if I wanted to go for a walk. And so we went for a walk together, a young guy from Barcelona, and you know, he's learned that I have traveled for 13 years, and so he's asking me all these questions, and we have the time, so I get to like pour out my heart on how good God is. And so he catches on that I'm a believer, and then he's asking me how that came to be, and I get to tell him about my salvation and what it really was like. And then he's asking me about religion, kind of, versus faith and that personal relationship with the Lord. And I got to explain more about that and what my relationship with Jesus is like. And then he was even asking me about like relationships and marriage, why it's necessary, why I believe it's God's plan, and my experience with relationships and my hope for the future. So it was such a good conversation, and even by the end, he was asking me about the Word of God, and like, he asked me first, like, what's your routine? Like, how is your life different? And I told him I wake up and pray and I read the Bible, and we were talking about how the Bible is the living Word of God. And he said that he wants to buy a Bible. And I was like, I will buy one for you. Like, let's just go to the town center and like get you one. But he had to catch his flight. But we're in contact, and I'm gonna recommend just a standard Bible, Old Testament, New Testament, and maybe a little reading plan or something. And I'll be praying for him and keeping in contact with him. So that's what made my Camino feel complete. And you can pray for him too. I don't want to say his name. I'm just going to keep all the people I meet anonymous, but just pray for the man from Barcelona. Okay, I'm going to bed now. Good night, guys. I love you.